You know, even though you are instrument rated, sometimes it's still more fun to fly VFR. But let's say today you drive to an airport planning a VFR flight, but you just don't quite have VFR conditions. Maybe there's clouds just over the airport or fog off one end of the runway or local blowing dust or smoke, but the weather is great everywhere else. If you could just get there. Well, there's one way you can get into or out of the airport under these conditions and still not have to file IFR. What you can do is get a special VFR clearance from ATC. Now, special VFR clearances allow aircraft operations in the surface area of Class B, C, D, or E airspace when the weather is less than basic VFR. That means less than 1,000-foot ceiling and 3 miles visibility. Now, when you get a special VFR clearance, the clearance will separate you from IFR traffic in that airspace. So essentially what a special VFR clearance does is provide you with IFR separation even if you're not an IFR operation. It's kind of like a poor man's IFR. Now, to fly special VFR, you as pilot in command must first request it. And special VFR then has to be approved by air traffic control. And it would be either a control tower or approach control or air route traffic control center. Now, if there is no control tower at the airport, but for instance there is a flight service station on field, you can ask the flight service station for the special VFR clearance. Now, flight service station is not air traffic control, but what they'll do is relay the request to air traffic control to get your clearance for you. Now, air traffic control will not volunteer special VFR clearances to you. Special VFR allows you to operate in pretty bad weather, and they're not going to encourage you to do that. But if you ask for it as a pilot in command, they will give it to you unless you conflict with an IFR operation at that time. If there are IFR operations, the IFR people have priority, so ATC will just fit you in as they can. But if you don't conflict with IFR traffic and you ask for special VFR, then the controller must give it to you, provided the weather conditions are okay. Now, let's take a look at a sectional chart, and we'll take a look at the big city of Paso Robles, California. Now, Paso Robles, you'll notice, does not have a control tower. How do I know that? Well, if you look in the group of letters and numbers about the airport, it does not say CT and a frequency here, and the airport symbol is magenta, not blue, so they do not have a control tower. But what they do have around Paso Robles is surface area Class E airspace. And you know that because they have this dashed magenta line going around the airport. And surface area